Hi everybody. On stage 8, the expected break went up the road with Bora controlling the peloton behind. Vacek did not even try to get into the break, so as some of you pointed out, it does indeed look like he's aiming 100% for stage 9. Also interesting to see was that we had no grenadiers in the breakaway, which is only supporting the scenario for tomorrow's stage, which I've been talking myself into since yesterday. Ulissi, Kelderman, Plap and Arieta were the strongest riders up front, with Plap the strongest of them all, taking his first World Tour win with a brilliant 45k solo. Behind, it was all about a fight for pink between Fortunato, Ulissi and Roglic, with Ulissi taking his first ever pink jersey, the first pink for Italy in 4 years' time. Here's these GC standings going into stage 9, with Ulissi now 12 seconds ahead of his teammate Fortunato and 17 ahead of Roglic. In the points competition, Pedersen scored some points early on in the stage and remains solidly in the lead. In the KOM standings, it's Fortunato who secures his hold on the jersey. Along the way, we saw Bardet contest him, yet most riders seem to be content to leave the jersey to Fortunato. Which brings us to stage 9, a stage that features Strade Bianche roads in the finale. In total, the riders will tackle 5 gravel sections, good for nearly 30k on the white stuff. There's nearly 2,500 meters of climbing in this 180k long stage. The entrance to Siena is from Fonte Branda, leading to the Muro di Santa Catarina before entering the Piazza del Campo. This is a stage for the punchy classics riders, and riders like Vacek and Pidcock will have this stage marked. Here's the betting odds at the time of recording, with Pidcock being the main favorite. And here's the riders to watch in my book. I'm not expecting quick step here, yet as I mentioned earlier on that we saw no Ineos riders in today's breakaway, and in my book that's because they have a plan. We all know that the Strade roads favor riders with an off-road past. Ex-mountain bikers simply do well on this type of surface, and in case you didn't know, Bernal started his career on the mountain bike. He participated in the Strade once back in 2021 and came home in third, behind Van der Poel and Alaphilippe, yet ahead of Van Aert, Pidcock and Pogacar. On top, Bernal indicated on stage 7 to have the legs to compete for the stage win, so he's obviously feeling well. So I would not be surprised the Grenadiers are planning a full-on GC push on the Strade roads. I'm also expecting Del Toro, unless he's on Ayuso duty, and in a scenario where one of the GC teams tries something, the logic dictates to also expect Ayuso up front. And I have to mention Van Aert, even though we haven't really seen positive signs yet since stage 1. Bilbao is another rider who will have marked his stage, 10th, 5th, 7th and 5th on his 4 Strade entries. Obviously Pidcock will also have marked his stage, second to Pogacar on this year's Strade. Red Bull has to regroup around Roglic here, and I don't expect them to send riders to the front. Should the Grenadiers go bonkers, Roglic will have to react of course, and you would expect him to end towards the front. And Formolo is another rider who historically does well on the white roads, although it has to be said, we saw him being dropped from the breakaway today. Bardet has been second in the Strade back in 2018, and okay, he was in the break today, yet I expect him to try once more for stage 9. Poel could also do well here in my opinion. Scaroni at Astana and Zana at Jaiko Alula was 9th in the 24 Strade, and we didn't see him in today's breakaway, so keep an eye on him too. At Little Trek, Vacek has indicated to have marked his stage and is without a doubt one of the strongest riders in this Giro. We didn't see him in stage 8, so rest assured we'll see him at the front on stage 9. Also Pedersen and Ciccone can do well here. Not expecting too much from Israel Premier Tech here, and at Alpecin I would call Hermans, yet he's been feeling off, so I'm not expecting them to be in the mix here. Pluimers or Storer at Tudor are 2 riders who could do well, and at AG2R Vendrame was in the front today, yet also needs to be considered an outsider here. Pidcock, Bernal and Vacek are my 4-star favorites for this stage. Bilbao, Del Toro, Roglic and Ayuso get 3 stars, Poel and Pedersen get 2 stars, and Ciccone gets 1 star. As for the podium, I'm going for a scenario in which Bernal actually manages to get separation, accompanied by Vacek and Pidcock, with Bernal taking the win, with a strongly reduced GC group finishing just behind. Enjoy the stage and see you tomorrow for my first rest day recap and my stage 10 prediction.